Hello everyone, my name is Shir Hever. I coordinate the military embargo campaign for the Palestinian BDS movement, for the BNC, the Boycott National Committee. Thank you very much for listening to me, for your interest in the military embargo campaign. I will be brief, but there is a lot to say about the military embargo. First of all, what is the military embargo campaign of the BDS movement? This is a campaign that was launched with the beginning of the BDS movement already in 2005, calling for ending on all kinds of military ties with Israel. This means we are calling for no buying of weapons from Israel, no selling weapons to Israel, and no transiting weapons to Israel. And like everything with the BDS movement, this is deeply anchored in international law. International law defines the military embargo as comprising of these three elements. And in addition to this, other kinds of military embargo also exist. For example, we are calling for no joint military training or research programs together between Israel and other countries. Because these kinds of cooperation also contribute to Israel's atrocities committed against Palestinians, to the occupation, to the apartheid, to the ethnic cleansing, to the settler colonialism, and now also to the ongoing genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. So this is a very important call, and we have an obligation to do what we can in order to stop the weapons which are used to commit all of these crimes. So the military embargo campaign works by making three demands. And the three demands are, or by using three arguments against any kind of military cooperation with Israel. We say three things. We say this is immoral, we say this is illegal, and we say this is stupid. I will explain what we mean by this. Immoral, because we have a moral obligation not to be complicit with those crimes and to do what we can to stop them and protect the lives of civilians in Palestine from Israeli weapons. So this also means not only that countries should not sell weapons to Israel, but it also means that countries should not finance the Israeli war machine by buying weapons from Israel. We also say this is illegal. The international law is very clear. And because you're in Italy, I will remind you that Italy has signed the ATT, the Arms Trade Treaty, which bans the transit, the sale, and sale of weapons to countries which are involved in serious human rights violations and war crimes and suspicion of genocide. There are many international treaties, including the International Treaty for the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, and there's also the European Union, a common position of the Council to prevent arms trade with countries that violate human rights. So the legal ground here are very strong, and law is on our side. This is a very important argument, and it's also something that gives our activists, the BDS activists, wherever they may be, a strong back, because by opposing the arms trade, we're implementing the law, and those who try to support the arms trade or to trade weapons are in fact committing an illegal act, and we have not just a right, but an obligation to stop them. Second, third, the third argument is the argument that this is stupid. And what do I mean by this? I mean that trading weapons with a country which is already facing a military embargo means that any contract that will be signed now might not be honored by the Israeli side, because the companies might go bankrupt, because they might not be able to deliver on the contracts, may not be able to receive or send whatever weapons are agreed upon in such a contract. Also, the Israeli weapons have been proven again and again to have very limited ability to actually achieve what they promise to achieve. I mean, of course, the Israeli forces are killing a lot of people, very effectively, but the current ongoing genocide in Gaza is committed mostly with US weapons. The Israeli weapons were developed and tested on Palestinians, not as weapons of war, but as weapons of oppression, weapons designed to surveil the population, control the population, incarcerate the population. Again and again, those weapons have failed to prevent Palestinians or to deter Palestinians from protesting and demanding equality, freedom, and justice. And if the weapons are not able to do this, why would anyone be stupid enough to buy them? So this is another argument that we make, but we have to. But the three arguments are important in the order that I said. First, it's a moral issue. This is the reason that we do this. Second, it's a legal issue. We obey the law. We believe that international law must be respected. And we believe that this is our most powerful tool in achieving our goals. And three, the stupid argument or the utilitarian argument is something that we also say because we know, unfortunately, that many politicians, ministers of defense in different countries don't care enough about the moral and the legal issues. And so we will use also this third argument to convince them, but it is our last argument and the least important from our point of view. There are three different campaigns within the military embargo campaign that I wanted to talk to you about specifically because they are relevant for Italy. One of them is the European network for the military embargo. The European network is with every every state in Europe, not just in the European Union, but mostly European Union states, which have groups of BDS groups who want to find ways to stop the weapons by collaborating and coordinating with other groups in Europe. We had a European Day of Action in February, so last month, focusing on ending transiting to Israel through ports and airports in Europe. This is a very important campaign for us because most of the weapons that Israel is using and importing come from the United States. The United States is not interested in following international law, but they have no way to send their weapons to Israel without passing through European territory, and we can stop the weapons. So the European network is a very important campaign that is developing. It's a new campaign and you're welcome to join. If you're interested, please send me your emails and I will invite you to the meetings. The second campaign that I wanted to talk to you about is the spyware campaign. Italy, unfortunately, is one of the countries that has bought Israeli spyware like Pegasus or Predator. These are very dangerous programs that can be used to hack phones. And indeed, the Israeli spyware companies first tested them on Palestinian civilians as part of the mechanism of control and oppression of the occupation itself, targeting civil society organizations. You may remember the big campaign of Stand with the six civil society organizations that were targeted by spyware. And this program is completely violates the purpose or the principles of law enforcement. And it cannot be used for law enforcement because it completely hacks open the phone, creates a clone of that phone, which allows the operators of spyware not only to look into your information, activate your microphone remotely to listen to your surrounding, activate your camera remotely and look at your face. But it also gives them the ability to plant fake information into your phone in order to incriminate you with things you haven't done. So it actually makes it very difficult for the law enforcement agencies in countries to tell the difference between evidence and fake information. The only way to stop spyware is with a global campaign. There is simply no technology that can protect one phone from spyware. The only way to protect ourselves is to build a network of people to highlight and protest spyware, to demand legislation and action on state, regional, and global level to stop this very harmful technology. We are calling for a ban of spyware. And if you're interested in this and you want to join the spyware network, then please, again, you are welcome, and please send me your email and I will invite you to our meetings so you can participate in this campaign as well. And finally, I wanted to talk to you about the Block the Boat campaign, a very important campaign for Italy. The Block the Boat campaign is aimed at stopping ships that are carrying weapons to Israel. We have seen that Israel's largest arms company, Elbit Systems, is buying materials to make the weapons all over the world, from countries like Vietnam and India, but of course also from the United States, and bringing them on different cargo ships secretly and quietly, because they know it's illegal and they know that if we can expose them, we will stop the ships. And there is a coordinating effort throughout the entire Mediterranean and beyond to identify these ships and to have the authorities in different ports to demand the search of these ships and to confiscate any weapons or dual-use items that are intended for Israel and which are illegal. Again, if you are interested in this campaign, please get in touch and we can organize. So the military embargo movement, the campaign, is something that works because we are operating on many different levels. From the grassroots activists who go and protest to the civil society organizations that demand the implementation of international law, the unions who refuse to transit the weapons and load the ships or unload the ships. We have academics who conduct research and journalists who report on these violations. And finally, the movement gets all the way up to the decision makers, to the members of parliament and to the members of government who have to make the decisions and to stop the weapons and enforce a military embargo. Because a military embargo in the end is a policy that only states can enforce. So we need to work on all of these three levels, and indeed we are. And I want to conclude by saying that the military embargo campaign is very successful. In the last year and a half, especially after the genocide has started, we have seen an awakening of this campaign. And we have seen more and more countries that are willing to impose a partial military embargo at first, blocking certain weapons or canceling certain contracts or certain memorandums of understanding. Countries in the global south, countries also in the global north, canceling export permits of weapons and dual-use items to Israel. Colombia has stopped the sale of coal to Israel because coal as an energy product is a dual-use item. And this is increasing the pressure on Israel more and more. And as the military embargo pressure increases, we see the response inside Israel. And we see that the Israeli government is now trying to implement a state budget, which will spend tens of billions of dollars to domestically make all of the weapons inside Israel because they don't believe that they will be able to import them anymore. And they try to make them domestically. From an industrial and technological perspective, they have no chance of doing it. They just cannot. So it means that we are succeeding. The military embargo is working. And as soon as the Israeli military does not have weapons, it will not be able to kill people. And we will be able to end the atrocities that we see every day. Thank you very much.